and I'm here today to tell you the story of my daughter Stephanie and why I support the March of Dimes. While we all pray for that one miracle in our lifetime and a happy ending to our story, some of us are not that fortunate. So I'm here to tell you about the angels that don't get that miracle and why we continue to support March of Dimes in hopes that we may find cures for our babies, because no parent should ever have to bury their child. After a very long and frightening 5 months of conquering one illness after another, I thought my problems were over. Then a simple visit to my doctor for an ultrasound to see if I was having a boy or girl went extremely wrong. The ultrasound showed a very fine line of fluid around her kidneys and bladder. Before I knew it, I was whisked away to Tampa General Hospital to a team of specialists from USF. In the 4 days that it took for them to see me, the fluid had filled her entire act. The only thing the head doctor could say to me was, "I don't know what's wrong with your baby, but she's gonna die." It's like someone flipped a switch and forgot to turn it off. I was speechless, and it was at that moment he also informed me that in the state of Florida it was legal to have an abortion up to 6 months. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Luckily for me, the only female doctor on the team had overheard our conversation and offered to help me. After undergoing several procedures to relieve the fluid in her belly, we were unsuccessful. So we came to the only decision that was best for Steffi and I, and that was to take her at 24 weeks by C-section. We were originally scheduled for Thursday, October 12th, but due to more complications had to cancel until the next day, being Friday the 13th. How crazy is that? After several attempts for an epidural failed, they had to put me to sleep. My system had been compromised, and they needed to get Steffi out. But not before I made them promise me not to give up on her and let her die, until I woke up and was able to see her for myself. The rest was told to me by the doctors and nurses who delivered her. Steffi coded for 19 minutes after they got her out. They worked on her in 5-minute intervals. Much to everyone's surprise, she came back. The doctors were shocked. They had never experienced anything like that before, and she was perfect. No brain damage. Her hearing and eyesight were fine. So now we had to face the next set of challenges. I went into a coma for 3 days, not seeing Steffi until October 16th. And when I woke up, she was alive in an incubator weighing 4 pounds, 4 ounces. 3 pounds of that was the fluid in her belly. She had tubes everywhere. You couldn't imagine what was going through my mind. Steffi was born without a urethra and an anus, but the doctors assured me with modern medicine they could build her both. She also had no uterus or ovaries, which only meant that she would never have any children. Our biggest problem at that point was her lungs. Steffi was given a double barrel colostomy and a vesicostomy so she could pee and poop. She was also intubated for 3 months before I made the decision to have her trached. She was given TPN, better known as Hyperal, which being left on it longer than 30 days will cause irreversible damage to your liver. Steffi was on it for 90 days. She was given Actigol for her liver, but in order for it to work, it had to be processed through her gallbladder, which after 3 exploratory surgeries, we found she didn't have one. So her bilirubin went through the roof, and I was faced with yet another heartbreaking decision: to have her undergo another major surgery to determine whether she would live or die. I approved an open liver biopsy, so I had to transfer her from TGH to Shands Hospital in Gainesville. The surgeon, Dr. Max Langham, the best in the world, was going to perform it. and he explained everything to me, and the surgery would take about 3 hours. Well, after 1 hour, he came out and said, "Let's walk and talk." My heart dropped to the floor, and I thought Steffi had died, but my little fighter was still alive. Dr. Langham could not give me a time frame. She was too tiny for a transplant, and I couldn't be a donor because the tiniest piece of my liver wouldn't fit in her belly, and her brother and sister were too young. So our only hope, as sad as this sounds, was for another baby to pass away. Time was not on our side, so I was advised to bring her home to TGH and spend as much time with her as possible. I brought Steffi back on February 7th, 2001. Exactly 1 month later, on March 8th, she passed away in my arms of liver failure. Stephanie taught me so many things about myself that I never knew. She taught me the true meaning of unconditional love, compassion, understanding, and strength. So this is how I've chosen to honor her. I was told that this happened to me for a reason, and that I would have a purpose. So if I can save one family from the heartache that I've endured, then my work is done. I'd like to thank Patricia and the Marchetimes for letting me share my story with everyone. This is the first time I've spoken publicly about Steffi since her passing. So I would like to also thank all of you who came out to show your support. And please remember, keep walking and donating so we have more miracles and less tragedies. Thank you.